going to say.
Go.
Good morning. She's reading my mind. All right. That's how we're going already. Good morning. I know we're a day late and $1 short, but we're here. And I've had an upper respiratory that has put me in bed and on the couch. And so I had no voice yesterday. Well, I had a voice, but what did it sound like?
No. It was better than the day before.
Yeah, it was better than Monday.
But
I was so sick. But because I slept so much, and that's just what I do, is if I know I don't feel good.
I'm bringing it forward to you because I'm going to be really loud and they're going to barely hear you. So.
Yeah. So.
Ellen. So first of all, Leslie Williams says hi.
Oh, good morning.
And Ellen E.E. says, hi, Joan. I enjoyed the pictures of your tour. Oh, my God.
I have more pictures. I just have been sick, so I haven't even gone through the pictures. I always point at the computer, but I'm pointing at the computer. There are probably, I don't know, I didn't take as many pictures as Tanya took. Apparently she took 10,000.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's kind of...
But her camera went...
Yeah.
And I could put it on that sport mode, but it didn't go as fast as hers.
Yeah. Oh, she told me what she got. I was having camera envy.
Yeah, she got a nice camera. But I think I've got like 3,000 photos to go through.
Wow. Okay, so we're waiting for people to come on.
But yeah, I'll be putting more pictures up. I feel like I don't have lipstick, but green drink stick on me.
Your gorilla photos are just, I mean, I can't even with those.
Those are just the ones from my iPhone. Those aren't even the ones in the computer.
Wow.
Yeah. So I want to do a few things today. I want to, did you like my green drink?
Oh my God, so good.
Yeah. I want to, I want to talk about the trip, and I want to talk about the year. You know, I would love to hear people's highlights with helping animals this year, and then I really want to set an intention about how we can help animals next year, and talk about the how to help animals that we're doing. And we're getting it sponsored, so that's really exciting news. And we also want to answer any questions about the big program, because right now there are all sorts of bonuses and stuff that Shannon would know. Not my department. I'm just the person that writes the school and teaches and writes books, but I do...
And takes the trips with people.
And takes trips with people, yeah. I teach, trips, books, and do Facebook Live. That said, I do want to make sure that we can answer any questions, and of course, as always, Shannon can answer the questions best of all, and that would be info@... JoanRanquet.com. You know what? There's a dog stuck on the catio. Do you want to?
I'll go get him. Delilah, isn't it?
No, Delilah's right there. Penelope can sound just like Delilah. She imitates her. It's that urgent bark that says, "You need to pay attention to this." What's going on? Oh, hi. Were you out there by yourself with Henry? Yeah. Anyway.
I'm going to just do this because I want people to see how cute she is.
So I have to tell you, these guys have been amazing while I've been on the couch. They've been so happy. I was gone for 3 weeks that I've been on the couch for 3 days. was on the couch all day Saturday, and I thought I was better on Sunday, and did a bunch of stuff, and was on the couch all day Monday and yesterday. So is anybody here?
Yes. Okay, so Lori Hodar says hi there.
Hello. She was on the trip, and I'll tell you, I was talking to Kat this morning. I feel like the quality of that trip was that every day we kind of woke up to our dream day as far as, and Kat was saying the best day was that day we had at a Tumba with the elephants. Oh yeah, somebody wants her butt scratched. And then seeing that leopard. And then... She is a goofy girl.
She is. Sorry.
But then we did the renewal of the vows that night. Like, that was a dream day. But they all were basically dream days.
Okay, so Leslie Williams says so cute about Penelope. And Tanya says hello. Hi,
Hello,
Tanya.
Tanya.
We were just talking about you.
Yeah. And your camera.
And the camera envy I have. Okay, so we've got people on.
Okay. Do you want up, Abby? Abby. Up. Come on.
She's a little slower than Penelope in getting up.
This used to be Abby's chair. And then once Penelope came on, up, all the way. Come on. There's room. Okay. So, I know, everybody's got a dog here. Yeah.
So who are you?
I have to tell you, the other day, oh my God, I haven't even done an intro. I'm Joan. I took so much melatonin to calm my nervous system down because I was coughing so hard that I could feel how in fight or flight my body was, that I knew I couldn't get better if I didn't power down. And no amount of meditation on my own. Shannon did scalar on me, and I felt that. I felt the difference between Monday night and Tuesday. Monday night and Tuesday. But these guys, we had so much love on my melatonin acid-induced trip for the last 2 days that I feel very renewed. And I still have a little stuff going on. So I'm Joan. I'm an author, animal communicator, and founder of Communication with All Life University. Thank you for reminding me that I should introduce myself in case you're new to me. And yeah, so I would love to share about the trip and and I'd love to hear people's thoughts. Well, I'll talk about the trip for a minute. The first few days, I mean, Tanya and Lori, is anyone else from the trip on?
They're coming on, but Lori said, absolutely, that was a great day. I too spent 2 days on the couch after my return. That travel home was a lot.
Yeah. I planned to spend 2 days, and I felt pretty good, but then I got this upper respiratory thing. After being exposed to, Lori is the one that said, my ability to be a magnet for varnish equals my ability to be a magnet for wildlife. So it's pretty funny. I'll never forget that. Anyway, yeah, I had that damage, and then it just made me vulnerable to getting sick. So the trip, we had such a magical trip, and the first part was going to Amboseli, and I haven't even put the cheetah video up yet where the cheetah jumped on the vehicle. And I'll tell you, that is actually the second time that's happened to me, which I can't believe. But I'll tell you a little bit about going into the trip. So first of all, I didn't get there quite yet, and I'm going to tell a kind of funny story. I had a number of things that happened at the airport, which I cannot even tell you how much I feared that. I had nightmares about that for months before the trip, and I thought, Joan, you just haven't traveled. It's been COVID era. You're not going to be stopped at some border. I was stopped at our own border. I couldn't get on the plane, and that's a stupid long story. But anyway, so I come home the day I'm not flying out. I'm supposed to fly out the next day on the same flight. They didn't even book me all the way through to Kenya. So they gave me allegedly a courtesy flight that evening. So I end up in London for a night, and I got to have dinner with Melly in one of the most fun parts of London at one of the most amazing vegan restaurants. I can still taste my dinner. It was so good, and such a quaint atmosphere, and it was so London and so delicious. So I had that. And should I tell the other part of the story?
Of course.
Yeah. So I go into the hotel, and I go into the hotel, and I'm thinking I am wide awake because it was one of the first times I literally had taken a late night flight from LA to London, and I had actually slept the whole thing, and which is, remarkable for me. And usually I watch like 8 movies and suffer, but I slept. And so I thought, I am not tired, and I have to get up so early for the next flight. And I thought, it was a beautiful hotel lobby and a beautiful bar. And I thought, well, I could sit and have a glass of wine and go to bed. And I sat there, and a few minutes later, these 2 women sat like 1 seat over, empty, but they happened to sit 1 seat over. I guess it was in the center, and I think that as women alone, or even 2 women in a foreign country, even though England doesn't seem foreign, I think you want to sit centralized. So they sat very close to me, and so I heard they were American, and we started chatting about where we were going, where we were coming from. They said they were going home to Los Angeles, and I was like, oh, I live in Santa Clarita. And the next thing you know, we start talking about the trip I'm going on, the school. The one woman wants her daughter to go to the school. Like, the best conversation you could have, right? Perfect glass of wine, going to bed. And at the end, she said, I really need to come on your trips. And she was like deeply moved. And I said, you would fit on these trips so well. I can just tell, because I loved her energy, and her friend was awesome. Her friend had cats, and they both had lots of dogs and cats. And we swapped stories. And anyway, she kept thanking me for the work I do. And it gets so better. So I said, okay, write down your email list, email address, because I'm going to have a travel club list that I'm putting together. And I really want to vet the people, and you already are in. So she wrote it down, and then she said, I said, let me make sure that I give it to my assistant correctly. And I read it out loud. I was like this: Aaron at Brockovich. And there I was with Erin Brockovich, and I had to thank her for all the work she did, because she said it's still not better, it's worse. And so anyway, it was a great moment. That's why I love traveling, because even though I had all those things, and Claudia was here because she's staying here, and they're about to buy their fancy house, but she's been staying here and with her family in an RV. Thank you, God, because the care, and the last 2 days, I couldn't have been dead on the couch. I couldn't have been in my acid-induced coma if I hadn't had Claudia here. But anyway, all the days before that I couldn't get on the plane, I came home and I was I mad?
No. And we kept saying there's a reason.
There's a reason.
And you weren't even supposed to stop in London. You were going straight from New York.
I was going straight from New York, yeah. So the London thing, believe me, the dinner with Melly was like, that to me was the reason. And then it's sort of like you get the cupcake and massive frosting. So that's it. That's my story.
Celia Pancheri says, whoa. And Tanya says, I love this story. It's such a great story.
It is.
My favorite part is your reaction. Aaron at Brock.
Yeah, I couldn't be cool. So anyway, that's it. Yeah, so going back to the trip, Amboseli, I really, Wycliffe, the tour guide, he was the guide for my trip 4 years ago.
He was also on the How to Help Animals.
He was on the How to Help Animals. And, he said to me, Joan, we're going to see some stuff that's going to be really uncomfortable but very important to see. And because of the drought in Kenya, the amount of carcasses of animals trying to get to water, and of course all the carcasses were near water, but they just couldn't get there, or it wasn't there. So literally, like, I feel like we have to talk about this, right? Because we are in dire straits. Kilimanjaro is going to melt, and it's going to wipe out Amboseli. And I saw those flamingos, and I literally cried because they are so innocent and beautiful, and I'd never seen anything like flamingos in that way. But what I was going to say is a lot of those carcasses, their full teeth were there. It was so hard to see. But I feel like, again, we have to talk about it. But we had some of the most amazing circumstances there. So I kept saying to Wycliffe, the first day we had lions. We saw lion sex. We saw massive elephants. And then I said, we need a coalition. We need some cheetahs. And he's like, ma'am, you can't order this up. And I'm like, sure I can. The next day, we had a coalition. We had the 4 boys, and they weren't, they were, but they still had their mom. So, anyway, we watched them with some antelope in the distance. They never got anything. They did get a bunny, but we didn't. Anyway, it was amazing because we watched them playing. I've got the craziest pictures of them on a sign, and then things get real with, like, we could do something over there, or wait, we could look at those over there. Like, they decide they're going to hunt, and when they aren't, they're just rolling on their back playing like cats. And so it's so, I just can't even describe to you how beautiful that is. And Cheetah will be the theme of the next trip, because next November, the next trip is India, and then the Bimini with dolphins. But cheetahs are the number is like down there with tigers. It's, I want to say, like 8,000 in the world. So I'll tell you about the cheetah trip another time, because it's going to be unbelievable. But it'll be cheetahs and elephants. But anyway, at one point, I have this footage where I'm kind of like, oh, and I'm pretty good at taking footage out of the one camera and snapping with the other. And so I got a little discombobulated because this cheetah's coming so close. Like, all of a sudden, boom, it's on the Jeep. And then I have this photo. I showed you that photo, right? The photo of just
The body.
The body. Yeah, and in the video you can hear, I say in a really low tone, my dream came true.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy, Kafer, our other guide, he's like, everybody stay very still. And meanwhile, cheetahs are pretty okay with people. So it was a moment that I will just cherish for the rest of my life.
And then what happened when it left your Jeep?
Oh, it jumped on another Jeep. And I think I even have that. We met the people in the hotel that night, and we were like, hey, you're the other people that the cheetah jumped on your Jeep. It was really fun. They were from India, and they were very cute. Yeah, so then, trying to think for other Amboseli stories. It was, the flamingos. We had moments with hyena babies that are like, it's like watching puppies.
Oh my God.
I know, they're so cute. Never forget their prehistoric killing machines, but
And then didn't you summon another animal that...
Oh yeah, thank you. But that was at the next place, so that was at Atumba.
Okay.
So at Atumba, we went there, and that is just Sheldrick Trust. And you don't think you're going to see something else. You just think it's enough to be with these baby elephants that are juveniles. So, we'd heard that a leopard had come through the camp, that somebody was reading through the guest book, and they said, like, in August, that a leopard had come through the camp. And we were all like, well, we'll take a leopard coming through the camp. And on the last day, and this was the dream day, so on the last day, we have this magical time out with the elephants. First of all, at that lunchtime, we were with the elephants in their mud bath, and we walked with them. I've walked with them before the last time, but we walked further, and Benjamin kept saying, this is further than we go, and then we went further. I was back with Ambo, my elephant, but everyone else was pretty far ahead. So just walking with the elephants, I don't know anything better.
Oh my God.
So we get in the Jeep, and then we go back one more time and say goodnight to them. We know that's, I think, our last night with them. And then, no, it wasn't our last night. It was the second to the last night. Anyway, we are rushing back because we have a vow renewal, but somebody called it a vowel renewal. But anyway, we were rushing back, and in the distance, in the road, because, they always say, if you're looking for a leopard, look up, because they live in the trees. In the road, there's a leopard. And not only did it not go anywhere, but we slowed down, and it just sat there forever. And then it slowly ambled across the road, and then sat there for the other Jeep to have for a while. And then it moved into the forest in the foliage in the way that somebody with a fake zoom background comes in and out of their existence.
Like it just disappeared.
Just like disappeared, which is how all animals are. Like, I look at pictures on my good camera, and I see the cheetahs like just blend with everything, just as all the antelope do. So anyway, yeah. So that was, what can I say?
So Tanya says the baby hyenas were adorable, and Lori Hunter says, Chaplain, one of the handlers, said to me as we kept walking with the elephants, "Who are you people? Benjamin never lets this happen."
Yeah. That happened the last time I was there too. It was like, no, we don't go this far, and we kept going, but this was further. This time was further. We got to where I think the Sheldrick farm equipment lived. We actually saw stuff that I think is well hidden from public view. That's how far we went.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so then we went to Olpajeta, and that is where the last two northern black rhino live. Or northern white. Oh my god, help me out. One of them will know. And anyway, the last two that are alive, and what they've done, so they're in very well protected, and they live with a friend who's a white black rhino. And I got to do also a bladder sweep on a blind rhino. I didn't get all the way, but it was really fun. There's a video somewhere of that. Yeah, bladder sweep on a rhino. Anyway, we were able to spend time with these rhinos in a way that was unbelievable. And they have, I think, like 23 embryos and 16 potential carriers for these embryos.
White.
Yeah. White rhinos
Yeah.
carry the black rhino embryo.
Oh, because Lori says that the two remaining are white.
Are white, right. So then they've got a bunch of black rhinos that will carry the embryo.
Wow.
So, yeah. So anyway, it's, that felt like being with history. And I can't describe it in any other way.
Yeah,
And so,
I lose it with rhinos.
what?
I lose it with rhinos. I'm like,
You would have lost it on the whole damn trip.
oh, I would have been,
We would have to give you melatonin.
I would have been passed out. I would have fainted. I would have been like so excited. I would have fainted, and I would have missed the whole trip because that would have happened every day.
Yeah. Well, apparently, everybody was so excited the first day. I think they got it all out. I, meanwhile, was dining with Melly in London, but we were all whoop by the time we
Oh, you know, I'll get
got on the road. I know you. I'm kidding.
But a bladder sweep on a rhino.
Yeah. Oh, and the first day we went to the Sheldrick Trust and played with orphan baby elephants, which everybody on the planet should do at some point. I think there are things that everybody should do, and I'm going to say some terrible things. Like, I went to Auschwitz, I've been to Dachau. I think that is important, and I think being with orphan, I mean, because both of those things are generally because of something man has done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, certainly we know who Auschwitz was, but
And the orphan baby elephants.
most of the baby elephants are because of some.
Same thing with the rhinos.
Yeah, and so being in these situations, and I will bring massive pictures to it because I know not everybody can, and I that's where I really, believe in these trips, and bringing people to these experiences. I have a friend who's going to hire me privately to do almost the same trip, and so it looks like I'll be seeing Ambo again shortly.
And everybody on the trip, we had mentioned this while you were away, so I just kind of want to remind everybody, Shannon and I had brought it up, that everybody on that trip, part of the trip was that they each got an adopted elephant.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, and something similar will happen with the cheetahs. What that does, I mean, aside from, it's fun to find your ambo, your elephant, is it creates relationship to the situation. And I think there are two things that people need to leave with, and that is relationship and story, because that's relatable when you leave and come back and start telling people. Because aside from having a magical time, my mission is that people go out and share awareness about what is going on in the world, like, the sad stories, along with the cheetah jumping on the Jeep. And then after that, I had an experience with gorillas that I don't even know if I don't. I don't think I've figured that one out yet, and I don't think I'm going to. But I'm going to go back for sure, and I want to take people, and that is nothing I expected. I expected it to be far more distant. I literally sat down at one point to fix something on my camera on a log, and a gorilla was sitting, just scooted over like as close as you are, and then another one sat on the other side, and then the trekkers had to say, "Ma'am, you need to move," because I was too close, even though they came to me. Like, wasn't even putting that together. I was just like, my camera kept fogging up because it was so humid, and I just needed to give it some sunshine. And yeah, so that sort of thing. And that the video that I put up of them walking toward me, literally, when I say that, like, sometimes I turn a corner and a dream comes through, like, I literally had just taken pictures of the silverback, turned a corner, and oh, a family is coming toward me. And if you watch that video, please watch it again, because this adorable baby on top of the mother, but I assume like a brother, came by and punched her and then passed her. And that just, I can't tell you how much I love that. But that, and then they told me just like, don't move. And then another time, the next day, same day that I sat on the log and aired out my camera, I was standing there taking pictures of one, and they again told me not to move. And one, I could have dropped my hand and given her a bladder sweep, given her, touched her spine. That's how close. If I had put my hand down, I would have been touching her.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's how, like, it was like the dolphins, right? We're in it. We're in it. And,
wow.
Yeah. So, I didn't expect that. I expected it to be more of a distance. So, I know that in 2 years I'm going to repeat a very similar Kenya trip, but I'll tell you there will be gorillas. So anybody that's interested, you need to get in shape. You need to get your knees fixed now. If you need a knee replacement, do it now, Tanya. And you need to start walking hills, because I was fine and Linda was fine, but there was definitely, we did easier the next day, but we did average, and it was a pretty big elevation. So, but you all see my view out here, like I walk hills every day. Claudia's gotten to the point she just walks my driveway and she's like, I'm in shape. I'm gonna have to buy a golf cart before Shannon gets here.
It's like the Stairmaster.
Shannon always talks about Florida's flat. What'd she say?
She's on right now. She says, hi, I made it. Linda Gage says, so sorry I missed you all. Had appointments. Loved listening and reliving.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Linda Gage was so fun to have on the trip. And that's one of the things that she came through a friend, and that's why I'm putting together basically, an exclusive, not an exclusive, but it has to be a fit with us.
Yeah.
And you have to want to be a fit with us, right? Like it's got to be a marriage. And there's going to be big personalities like we had. But everybody powered down when we needed to. And, it was...
It just makes the experience so much better when you're cohesive as a group.
Yeah, exactly. And I've had dolphin groups where the one time that I swam with 60 dolphins, and there were 8 of us, there were only 8 of us. I used to do 2 trips back to back. And the first trip I had was a whole hunter jumper barn in Seattle. And that was so much fun because I loved everybody. It was kind of a wild group. We had off the chart, they're a magical group. We had off the charts magical experiences. But because I was in that much magic, the next week it was a much smaller group. It was only 8 people, and it was very similar energy people, not the high energy. And that's the day that, the last day, as we're getting out of the water, it was like all these dolphins came to say goodbye, and then somebody sent out a memo and said the party was at the boat, because there were 60 plus dolphins.
I would have lost one.
And we swam for another 2 hours, and I don't even, like, it was kind of like my melatonin acid induced coma. It was a magic I can't even say. And so that was all that group. So the group dictates the experience. And I was talking to Kat this morning about how we really created our dream day every day. And it, that is, it's what life should be.
Okay, oh, Ali Isaac says, oh no, you sound sick, I wish you better. Linda Gage says, oh, you're sweet. Everyone is incredible. I so appreciate you all bringing me into the family.
Yeah, well, we loved having you. And hopefully having you at the spring intensive or something coming up, because you belong. All right, one thing, what time is it?
10:40.
10, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
I talked a lot. I wanted to really think about what we're doing moving forward with helping animals, and I know that Lori and Linda and Tanya are going to be sharing their stories of wildlife. Excuse me. Everybody's got these incredible experiences that we are that we've had, that we can share. One of the things that we did with the teachers is something called What's Your Story? We've been really refining our stories as animal communicators so that we can get out and express what it is that we do, so more people can get the help. And so being able to help animals sometimes is just being able to really take in your experience and share it with people. And so I'd love to hear if there's anything people think they want to create as an intention for next year, and we'll just have a little quiet moment and really put it out there, because as a group it just amplifies. But I also want to share that last year we started the year with something called How to Help Animals, or we started, I don't know, was it February? I don't know.
We started in January.
Started in January. And we're going to do that instead of as a 8-week thing, or 12, it was 12 weeks. We're going to do it once a month, and we're starting January 11th with How to Help Animals. And we're going to have some incredible guests, and it's just we have some really fun things planned.
The 10th.
The 10th, I knew that.
Wait,
Last year was the 11th.
last year was the 11th. Is it the 10th? Yeah, it's the 10th.
Well, I don't know how we figured out yesterday in that meeting that...
It's the 10th. Tuesday the 10th.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because your birthday's the next week.
No, the next day.
The next day. The next day. I knew that's why. I knew that.
Because we started it on my birthday, which is very special. I love that.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I'm still in melatonin land. But we're going to be kind of putting out a survey, so to speak, to see what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to see. We had some amazing guests last year, like
Sophie Gamelon, the photographer for the Pitbull Flower Power. I mean,
yeah, Sophie Gamon for the Pitbull Flower Power. We had was it Carol Walker, the horse photographer.
from Wellness.
So How to Help Animals really, thank you for saying that, because it could be through art, it could be through storytelling, it could be because you're out there saving a species like Linda Tucker,
And
or Leif Garrett,
Leif.
Leif.
Leaf Cox of the Orangutan Project. You just dated yourself. I had his poster on my wall.
Yeah, he was cute. All right, but the other Leif.
We had him from the Orangutan Project, and we had Linda Tucker from the White Lions
Yeah.
Conservation Trust, and we had a rescue, Moondog Farm Rescue, and we had
some of
Andrew
the-
Harvey. I mean,
yeah.
different.
Different aspects of helping animals. So we're going to do that once a month. That's not going away. And eventually, hopefully, it'll be a live event. But in the meantime, what I'd love to hear from you, how you want to, what you think you need to learn to help animals more, and and of course we had Ellie from the Gentle Barn.
Yeah, and Gabby from the Gibbon Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all of these are things that help animals, and it's going to be really important that we, that I know what you want, and that you, that we're creating opportunities to get out there and help exponentially. So that's it. Was anybody?
We're waiting, yeah. Well, I can start with me. I know what I want, what my intention is. To step into a bigger role in the school so that I can make a bigger impact with students and the people we're trying to help, especially in the outreach department, helping shelters, helping rescues, sanctuaries, wildlife refuges, zoos, all of that. That is my intent, is to step into a bigger role so that we can have a bigger ripple effect.
And yeah, similar to that, my intention is that the school continues to have its impact, and that this next book, Emotional Freedom Technique, has a big impact with people in their homes, just people with animals that have issues that they don't understand or can't deal with. The one thing I will say about that book, well, I'll say that in a moment, and also my intention is that I guess the three things that my life has turned into is the school, the books, and trips. That all those three things have an even bigger impact. And what I would say with the book, and I'm thinking of Lori saying she didn't like EFT when we did it on the trip. And the funny thing about it is that people may not like it that much, but animals don't like or dislike it. It works.
Yeah. And that's what made me fall in love with it.
Yeah, and that's the difference between humans and animals. We can go, oh, that's stupid. They're like, this might be irritating, but
Oh, she's already her eyes are closing.
yeah. So, doing that to release a story, yeah, you don't have a story to release because it's all pretty good.
Oh my God.
Were we in a giant nest last night? Anyway, I tell you, I've been on another planet with this melatonin. So, I know that can have impact, and so one of my intentions is to really get into shelters with the teachers and get out there exponentially and help those animals that are unadoptable.
The Coalition of Animal Communicators and Energy Healers, is what
Yeah.
we're calling it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Coalition of Animal Communicators and Energy Healers. And I will say this, the other thing about that book is that, do I break down behavior?
That's the part that was so powerful because
She's already read it.
is the the understanding of behavior and why and how and what you can do and the different things that you can do to help a behavior or a physical situation.
So that's where I feel like that book is going to be impactful, because even if you don't like EFT, emotional freedom technique, understanding the emotions and how they drive behavior
Yeah.
is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Is very powerful.
Yeah.
So that's it. Those are mine. And nobody's saying anything.
Nope.
Got crickets out there.
Yeah, there's crickets.
Okay.
Literally crickets. Sorry, there's one of your alerts that your phone's just lighting up. So,
Okay. What time is it?
10:48. You have a client.
I know. All right. So we're gonna do a moment of getting quiet and thinking about how we can really expand our service. So let's take a moment and really ground. Feel into the bottom of your feet. Become aware of your heart center. And really say to yourself inside, sending this information to your heart, what it is you want to do in the next year. And let's send it out to this group all over the world that's seeing and being with us right now, to give it that much more strength. And we'll see our connectedness in a big pink cloud expanding over the globe. Our intentions are expanding over the globe, wrapping it with our service. And come back into your feet. Wiggle your fingers and open your eyes. And I hope everybody, if you're having a holiday now, has a happy holiday. If you're doing Christmas, happy holidays and happy New Year. And I'll see you on not Claudia's birthday, but the 10th.
Thank you. And just to end up, Linda said, my focus will continue to be our shelters and how this work can help the staff and the animals. Perfect. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Happy holidays.